Hello and welcome back to another Digging the Game. In this series we play computer games as archaeologists, and frankly today I hadn't planned on making a Digging the Game video, but then again I hadn't planned on feeling rather unwell. I did want to do a welcome to the new year, sort of planning out things to come, but unfortunately I've woken up with a really quite bad allergic reaction to something. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. We're investigating, and also I think I'm getting my first cold of the winter, which is kind of irritating. I've done so well to go all the way through to January without getting anything, and here we are, nonetheless. But with that in mind, I figured I would dive into something that I was sent a couple of months ago as a bit of a jokey challenge, apparently. A Supian who wished to remain anonymous sent me a link to an online ROM of a game called Joe and Mac Returns. And she said that I would enjoy this game as a prehistorian, apparently. Apparently. I think she was ever so slightly tongue-in-cheek on that as well. So I guess we shall see what happens. I've been asked if I could possibly try and play this game until we get to and defeat the mammoth, which I've looked into and apparently is at the end of World 2. And the great thing is this is a game that you can try at home. I'll put a link to the ROM below, the version that I'm playing on the computer here. And crucially, I have, with experimentation, found that Google Chrome is the best browser to use, certainly for this website. So I leave that in your capable hands, O Supians at home. But yeah, here we go. Joe and Mac Returns. Now this is a game from Data East, a Japanese company based in Tokyo, certainly at the time anyway, and it comes from 1994. Interestingly, this game is only available by ROM. It is not available on any other platform because it was exclusively in the arcades, and now the ROM board, as it were, has been transferred to an online file. So so you can only play it as I am playing it today, or if you have the original arcade cabinet. So anyway, we're going to press the start button and see what happens. Knock enemies down with your club, okay? Bag your enemies. We're already into that rich vein of Stone Age stereotypes, aren't we? Oh, and if the enemies escape from the bag, then you get done. Blimey. Okay, select. Oh, that music. Okay, so the ROM isn't entirely intact, perhaps. Okay, right. Here we go. Level 1. Okay, so my understanding is that this game is all about rescuing the ladies, which is kind of refreshing for those Stone Age stereotypes. Typically, wouldn't you be bashing the lady on the head and dragging her back to your cave or something? So I guess the game gets some points for that, perhaps. But obviously, this is a very loose and slightly silly Stone Age game, not least because actually, yeah, these are Paleolithic people. These are old Stone Age people by the look of it. So this is pre-farming, but they are hunting dinosaurs. Naughty game developers. Naughty. For those of you who don't know, dinosaurs and people never met in real life, which is a shame. Well, it's also not a shame. I'm not sure I'd want to be eaten by a dinosaur. But yes, Jurassic Park, as Homer Simpson says, what was it? A time before dinosaurs weren't only confined to parks. This is, that was long before human beings were on the planet. And also, frankly, it's interesting how we have these two different types of people. So we have is this Joe or Mac? Probably Joe, the green guy, the guy with the green hair, who I'm playing as, and presumably these guys in leopard skin and hairy. Are they meant to be Neanderthals or something, or Cro-Mag man? No, the game is making me forget simple words. Early European Homo sapiens. I'll put the word on the screen. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we're fighting other versions of people. Which is that? Oh! I accidentally hit her, and she's jumped away. No, but funny enough, actually, that is anthropologically and archaeologically quite sound. We do know that that Homo sapiens bumped into other versions of humans as they migrated around the world, and more often than not, that resulted in the other species of human being eradicated, or seemingly in the case of Neanderthals, with some hybridization, some interbreeding going on between the two species. So, oh, I've rescued her already. Brilliant. So perhaps this game deserves some points for that, as it were, some chops for the fact that it's portraying an inter homo rivalry in terms of species. Is that? I'm reaching. I know I'm reaching here, but this is good fun. And actually, to be fair, on away from the archaeology element, this game is actually quite good fun. I'm enjoying the Flintstones vibe, shall we say? And maybe that's precisely the element here, is that we should remember this is 1994. This is not a time when people were particularly concerned about realism in computer games. And if you're going to reference something from prehistory, why not reference the Flintstones? Although I'm a little bit concerned by some of the range of fruit that the people are eating here. So they have lemons and limes and watermelons. I think I've seen a burger turn up, like a hamburger in its bun, which, again, strictly speaking, from an archaeological perspective, isn't quite right because bread wasn't around until the Neolithic. Yeah. Hopefully my criticism of the game is not disappointing you, oh anonymous Supian. I'm trying to take this as seriously as I think you were hoping I would. Okay, so we're fighting a Triceratops. Now, the Triceratops, again, is that right? From if I was a paleontologist, would I be annoyed about this? Would Triceratops want to fight people? If Triceratops and people ever had the chance to meet? Triceratops is a vegetarian, aren't they? They're not interested in eating people. Again, I'm being facetious here. Obviously, this is a game that's meant to be enjoyed, not taken too seriously. Ah, I got squashed by a Triceratops. Okay, name. Let's go with soup, but like a 3-letter version of it. S. Oh, no, never mind, okay. Ah! Okay. Here we go. Here we go. He says jumping into the lion's den. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's good. It is. It's fun. I can see why, how this game would eat up your pennies in the arcade. Definitely. Also, actually, it's going back to an archaeological observation. Language. These guys have words. They say, is it let's go? Let's go, or something like that. And there's another phrase that they say something like, I have a power, or I have the power, which is vaguely reminiscent of He-Man, I think. Rats. But that's good, in so much as they're not just saying, ugh. From again, archaeological perspective, we know that these people had language. They weren't just going, ugh, ugh, and knuckle dragging. Oh, look at that. Is that a Triceratops steak? There you go, I've got the power. Yeah, they had language, so points to the game for that. Okay, so this is level 1 clear, I think. I hope. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, she's having a bath. Naughty, ever so slightly sexist 1994 computer game. Naughty game. Okay, let's go. Oh, gophers and monkeys with hairstyles in the ice. Is it a gopher? Is it some sort of Arctic rat or something? Who knows? Seafood. Okay. Big apple. Carrots. More watermelon slices. Now, that is something I suppose I do quite like, is that they're putting an emphasis on the gathering element of hunting and gathering. Is that a good positive to reach to there? You're hunting the animals, you're gathering the fruits. Yeah? No? Maybe? I'm trying. Oh, there's no one to rescue here. That's interesting. Do I just have to defeat all the enemies on the screen, perhaps? Now, I gave myself 30 credits when I started this playthrough. Oh, a tomato. Nice. And I'm down to 27. I think that's not too bad. He spoke too soon. Oh no, still 27. So bag our enemies. And we miss the other ones with the bag. It's interesting as well that this game also plays into that stereotype that somehow prehistory, or in prehistoric times, people were all living in extreme environments. Now, that's certainly true during, for example, the Ice Age, and it would have been true of, for example, the dinosaurs, things like volcanoes and some extreme events occurring, so towards the end of the dinosaurs' time on this planet. But it's interesting how in our minds, certainly in our sort of Flintstones minds, people in the Stone Age, not that there was just one Stone Age, as we all know, but unless in the Stone Age, were living in either very hot places like jungles or places with volcanoes, or they were living in very cold places. I think there's an interesting little, I don't know, visual essay going on here in terms of the popular presentation of prehistory. Again, you may think I'm reaching. But I am enjoying. I'm also enjoying. I'm not just being polite. This is quite good fun. Oh, okay, so we destroyed the hut where the baddies were coming from. Snowmen. So we're gathering snowmen as well. Wow. And look at all that food. Yes, please. Maybe that's the point of the game, is to get you into the mindset of a hunter-gatherer. Never pass up the opportunity to gather some much-needed calories. Especially at the height of the last Ice Age, the LGM, the last glacial maximum. Oh, down to 26 credits now. Need to be careful. Okay, can we get... Oh! Can we get that food? There we go, pick up those guys and... Yes, I destroyed the hut. That's good. That's something. 25 credits. Now, it's one of those things where I know occasionally, for the most part, people comment on the Digging the Game videos very positively, liking the approach that we're trying to take to some of this stuff. And actually, someone recently commented asking whether we would, for example, look at the Assassin's Creed games. And of course, the answer is yes. Assassin's Creed is very much on the list. It's one of my favourite game series. It's one of the series that first introduced me to the idea of using, for example, scanned historical environments in a computer game and exploring them. So I really like the idea of exploring those games. Yes, I just burnt that man alive on a fire. But also, obviously there are people who occasionally seem to dislike the videos as well. And I suppose all I could say is that I will be, and I do try to make different types of video as often as possible. But to be honest, I really am enjoying these ones at the moment. It is good fun, and this is certainly making me feel better on a day when I'm feeling a bit manky. So I suppose what I would say is, don't worry. You know, the serious, the essays, and the learning opportunities and the interviews, they're not going away. I'm just today, for example, enjoying this. Now, the other side though of all this sort of whole digging the game thing is, frankly, actually the silly side of it as well. It's not just about the archaeology necessarily found in games or the archaeology of games, but also in that sense, the fact that these games can present I suppose actually in that sense it is about the archaeology of the game, because they can present a very crude and a very graphic representation of how people thought the past should and could be represented in computer games. You know, and as much as I'm finding this very silly and enjoying the silliness, it says something about our relationship to the past. So yeah, as I say, yes, I'm doing this very tongue-in-cheek, but also there's something, you know, I think there's something interesting going on here. Oh, there you go. You know, every cartoon representation of prehistoric people, for example, I think has been referenced here. I think the only thing that we haven't seen yet has been a stone wheel, although I think I have seen that in previous playthroughs. I've seen a stone wheel as a potential power-up. So, yeah. As silly as this looks, and as much as I'm having fun, it's also quite serious. There we go. In some respects, this is precisely the stereotype that I try to combat in my prehistoric workshops, or my prehistory workshops. Nonetheless, we're fighting a mammoth, and that is archaeologically quite accurate. Probably not just fighting it for the sake of it in a cave. You know, maybe hunting the mammoth would be a bit more accurate. Hello, have I managed it? No, I haven't. Okay. Oh, the mammoth is hitting the floor with its hoof, with its paw. Actually, what's a mammoth foot called? With its pad, maybe? With its foot. With its mammoth foot. Oh, he's looking at me. He's not happy. And there we go. Mammoth defeated. I do believe that is the terms of the challenge met. Oh, a mammoth steak, pun intended, or a mammoth meat on the bone. There we go. Yeah. And that's the other thing. See, look, they're doing the chest beating. It's all there in terms of something to criticise. Okay, so the mammoth is showering. Oh, the lady behind the. He's going to do it, isn't he? He's going to knock the shower, the screen away, isn't he? Well, you can't say this game isn't from Japan in the mid-90s, can you? Or frankly, Japan today. Wow. Okay, I can see why you suggested I cease, or I guess get up to the mammoth and I don't have to play any further. Now we're underwater. What on earth? With trilobites. Now I do appreciate that. I love a good trilobite. But I don't think we have to continue much further, do we? I think this is just getting... this is just getting silly. But I do love it. So, on a day when I felt manky and under the weather, you, anonymous Supian, have brought a smile to my face. Thank you very much. As ever, guys, like I say, we oh, there you go, there's stone wheel, look at that, see, as a power-up. I knew I hadn't imagined it. I'm going to be able to get it. Yes, I got a power. As ever, guys, as I say, we do try and have a variety of games on this series for a variety of reasons. And in the near future you can look forward to other videos from me. But today, digging the game, Joe and Mac returns. Hopefully you've had as much fun as I have. As ever, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.